Hello and welcome. I'm Jash Hirani. While the world remains focused on Donald Trump's visit to China, a major behind the scenes development from West Asia has begun drawing attention. Reports claim that Benjamin Netanyahu secretly visited the United Arab Emirates at the height of the Israel US strikes on Iran and Iran's retaliation across the Gulf. At the same time, several other reports and developments connected to the ongoing West Asia conflict have also surfaced, developments that could significantly impact the region's future. So in today's video, let's break down these latest developments and also discuss the BRICS summit which is currently being held in India. Let's start with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's secret visit to the UAE. The official X handle of the Prime Minister of Israel posted yesterday saying, Prime Minister's office statement. In the midst of the Operation Roaring Lion, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu secretly visited the UAE where he met with the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. The visit has led to a historic breakthrough in the relations between Israel and the UAE. A source familiar with the meeting told Reuters news agency that Netanyahu and Sheikh Mohammed met in Al Ain on March 26 and that meeting lasted several hours. The source also said that Mossad chief Dedi Barnier during the war with Iran made at least 2 visits to the UAE to coordinate military actions. The Wall Street Journal was the first to report the visit of the intelligence chief. The UAE, however, reacted very differently to this revelation. After the post on X of the Prime Minister of Israel, the UAE denied any such meeting between the two heads of state. In its press release, the UAE said, UAE denies reports regarding visit by Israeli Prime Minister or receiving any Israeli military delegation. The UAE denies reports circulating regarding an alleged visit by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the UAE or receiving any military delegation in the country. The UAE reaffirms that its relations with Israel are public and conducted within the framework of the well-known and officially declared Abraham Accords and are not based on non-transparent or unofficial arrangements. Accordingly, any claims regarding unannounced visits or undisclosed arrangements are entirely unfounded unless officially announced by the relevant authorities in the UAE. The UAE calls on media outlets to exercise accuracy and professionalism and to refrain from circulating unverified information or promoting misleading political narratives. After the UAE press release, Iran's Foreign Minister Sayyid Abbas Araghchi, who is currently in India for the BRICS summit, wrote on X in a threatening tone towards the UAE. Netanyahu has now publicly revealed what Iran's security services long ago conveyed to our leadership. Enmity with the great people of Iran is a foolish gamble. Collusion with Israel in doing so unforgivable. Those colluding with Israel to sow division will be held accountable. The news we discussed yesterday that the UAE had conducted secret strikes inside Iran has now become more prominent. People closely monitoring the West Asia war, including us, had also reported the growing bonhomie between Israel and the UAE, along with reports of Israelis supplying their Iron Dome system to the Emiratis in the midst of the war, so that the UAE remains insulated from the Iranian strikes. Let's now discuss the Trump-Xi meeting in Beijing. Trump landed in Beijing yesterday and today both leaders exchanged courtesies and shook hands with each other's cabinet members. While Xi Jinping struck a cordial tone in his opening remarks to Donald Trump during their bilateral meeting, the message delivered behind closed doors was far more pointed. According to the readout from China's foreign minister, Xi stressed that Taiwan issue remains the most critical aspect of the US-China relations, warning that stability could only be maintained if the matter was handled properly. Otherwise, he cautioned, the two countries risked clashes and even conflicts, placing the broader relationship in serious danger. The statement further said that Taiwan's independence and the peace across the Taiwan Strait were as incompatible as fire and water, while urging US to act with extra caution on the Taiwan issue. These warnings are not new. Beijing, including Xi himself, has repeatedly conveyed similar concerns to Washington over the years. However, the renewed emphasis is significant because it comes just months after the US approved its largest ever arms sales package to Taiwan. Regarding Iran, it was expected that the West Asia war would dominate the discussions between the two leaders, but that did not happen. According to a statement from China's foreign minister on the Trump-Xi meeting, the issue received little attention today. In its official readout, China said both leaders agreed that Strait of Hormuz must remain open to ensure the uninterrupted flow of energy supplies. Meanwhile, the White House stated that the two sides also agreed that Iran must never acquire nuclear weapons. The Chinese statement included detailed sections on trade and Taiwan, but made no direct reference to Iran apart from noting that two presidents had exchanged views on the Middle East situation and other global matters. Washington is seeking Beijing's assistance in persuading Iran to return to negotiations, while China has been quietly attempting to play a mediating role without becoming directly involved in the conflict. Trump is currently facing heavy backlash at home regarding the war in Iran, and that is also being reflected in his declining approval ratings. The lack of attention to Iran during the talks with China may indicate that the war is unlikely to end anytime soon. Either a continuing stalemate or an escalation remains possible, which means dark clouds are looming large over Trump as the midterm elections draw closer. Let's now discuss the attack on the Indian flagged ship near the Oman coast. While two very important meetings are taking place in India and China, the BRICS summit in India and the Trump-Xi meeting in China, an Indian flagged ship has been hit off the coast of Oman. The MEA in a press release expressed its objection to the attack, saying, "The attack on the Indian flagged ship off the coast of Oman yesterday is unacceptable, and we deplore the fact that the commercial shipping and civilian mariners continue to be targeted. All Indian crew on board are safe, and we thank the Omani authorities for rescuing them." India reiterates that targeting commercial shipping and endangering innocent civilian crew members or otherwise impeding freedom of navigation and commerce should be avoided. The press release, however, did not mention who attacked the ship. At the same time, a UK naval group reported that a commercial ship was seized by unauthorized individuals near the entrance of the Strait of Hormuz and is now heading towards Iranian waters in what appears to be another sign of Tehran tightening its grip over the regional shipping routes. Meanwhile, India is currently hosting the BRICS summit at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi, and Iranian Foreign Minister Syed Abbas Araghchi made the following remarks regarding the West Asia war and Iranian resistance to America. India has requested the United States to extend its waiver for importing Russian oil as the nearly 11-day conflict in the Persian Gulf continues to disrupt the global oil supplies. A few days ago, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, in his public address, urged citizens to reduce fuel consumption. Following his appeal, the central government, along with several state governments, decided to scale down the size of the official convoys to help conserve the fuel. The US had initially granted approval in March and later expanded it through an authorization valid until May 16, aiming to stabilize oil prices by ensuring additional supply in the market. Although Russian crude is not under blanket sanctions, Washington has earlier urged New Delhi to reduce its purchases of discounted Russian oil as part of its efforts to increase pressure on Moscow over the Ukraine war. These were the latest developments from the ongoing conflict in West Asia. Stay tuned to HW News English for more updates and comprehensive coverage of the situation. Thank you.